One of Geek in the City Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Duran.
I'm one of your other hosts, Spinarita.
And I am your other host, Cable Hashtani.
How's it
What's
going,
shaking,
everybody?
guys? Damn it!
Both of
Did
you
you really want to take
simultaneous.
it? Go ahead.
I wanted it to sync up with Aaron and hoist it.
We
so
should have
I am
timed it
saying
better.
It's slightly different today.
I take full responsibility for that failure. Then do not feel bad.
That's what you should.
I
Why
take no
not?
responsibility for anything.
I'll take it for.
I've taken
There you go.
enough responsibility for the day. I'm done with my responsibilities.
Oh yeah, what happened today? Other than you're Mr. Manager now.
Yes, in my new role as one of our 4 assistant managers at Guardian Games, I am most frequently on the floor, guiding my fellow coworkers, who were all children.
Yes, you work with children.
Yes, I say that lovingly. The average age of a Guardian employee is 25, which is half my age.
Yeah, no, that's still for you. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's too young for all of us, I think.
It's great.
I mean,
they have energy. I just tell them, yes, you're doing great. Good job. Go do
yeah, I was
more
gonna
of
say
that.
like
And they
too
go do
young
more of
for
that.
like for what? For manipulating. But no.
Well,
No,
no,
you can
because if they're
manipulate people
25,
at
their
any
brains
age.
are done cooking.
That's true.
Yeah, they
but,
get to use them for the first time ever.
That is the scary part, for sure.
Mhm.
I thought we weren't going to talk about the fact that it's election day.
We not, are we? Did we?
No, that was a joke. Maybe it didn't make a lot of sense.
Oh. Sorry, brother.
I follow what you're putting down, Bean. I get it.
Thank you.
I'm there with you.
I got nothing on that one. I am a little lost puppy. I understand.
Totally
Sorry,
fine.
like I think I mentioned this before we went on the air. It was a rough night for me. Did not sleep well, which these days translates to not feeling well most of the day. Mainly because I take half my meds at night, so I have now set my alarm for the evening as well to remind me to take my old man pills, so I sleep better.
I am up to 6 pills every day.
Every day?
Yeah. All in the morning.
Does that count vitamins or just pills? Just meds, just drogas?
No, it includes my vitamins.
Okay.
I guess like prescribed to me, I take 3 pills, and then there's a 4th that's a supplement that my doctor told me to take.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm up to. I'm up to a bit.
I have no
5.
room to complain. You have how many?
I think 5. Trying to think at night. It's 4 prescriptions at night, 2 in the morning, so 6 plus 3 different vitamins. Ooh.
I have no room to complain. I take a multivitamin and then I take Prozac. That's it.
Yay!
I bought a 1-month pill organizer.
Oh,
I'm looking very forward to it arriving. Sorry, it's in Do Not Disturb. I don't know why this.
You bought the 1-month one?
Yeah, I'm not going to refill a thing of pills every week.
But then you got to do it every month. Whatever. I guess it's all the same in the end.
Yes.
I like weekly because then I get a little bit more heads up about needing to order refills. Because for some ungodly reason, we still use Walgreens, and that this is the most inept pharmacy I've ever dealt with. Sorry if you're a Walgreens fan or if you were a potential sponsor. That's fine.
I don't think either of those things exist.
Yeah, no, I think we're
not
good.
Someone who is a fan of Walgreens.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That was
Walgreens
one of my
is...
first jobs.
Ew.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah. Do you ever get the soft spot for your first job? Kind of like, oh.
Only about very specific things. Like they used to wear these little blue vests.
Yep.
I don't know. I always thought it was kind of cute. And then the other thing is facing the store. Anyone who's worked in retail,
product facing.
Yeah, at the end of every day, you pull everything forward and rotate all the packages that like aren't straight.
I still do that when I'm in a store.
I do too.
At Walmart, they called it zone defense. Don't forget, folks, it's time for your zone defense. And that was code for straighten up the aisles.
Nope, I don't like it.
Yeah, no. And at the end of the night, if you were a closer, like you had to have an assistant manager walk through your area for them to approve whether or not you could actually check out and go home.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because Walmart.
I mean, yeah, we do that.
Sure, but I'm guessing it's a little different.
It is. It is. I can directly go, hi, you forgot to do a thing. And they go, oh, God, there, it's done. Cool, go home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this was sometimes managers just wanting to have a power trip, which was always super fun.
I can see where that can become a very infantilizing thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And often.
It's also not the point of what management should be.
No.
So, yeah, this is all true. Sorry, we're just la, 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 la. I'm just going through stuff here. It's fine.
This is what happens when we don't have enough sleep, when we are actively busy throughout our day.
And we don't get a guest.
I'm working on it.
No, I know. That's not why I was saying that.
I know. I didn't think that's what you were saying.
My hoodie arrived. It's kind of hard to read here, but it says Brujo. Brujo's on it.
Nice.
There's a new like beer imprint. They all work at different breweries, but they do blends together called Brujo Brewing. And you can't see it because it's on my back, but it's like a bitchin' pentagram made out of hop vines.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
So it's not a zip up, but it's all right. It was a major award, so I can't complain. Major award.
Major award.
Major award.
Okay, so we don't have a guest, but what are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, I spent most of Saturday at the Portland Book Fair put on by the Literary Arts Association of Portland.
Which we want to hear all about.
Yeah, I can jump into that. And then what else? I think since we've all seen She-Hulk, we can do a nice little dive in that will have spoilers. So if you haven't seen all of She-Hulk, we'll give you a heads up when we start.
Yeah.
You'll know it's time to mute the podcast when we break the fourth wall. Sorry. Couldn't help it.
Wait. Was that breaking the fourth wall?
Was it a wall break and a wall break? Inside a wall? Sir, this is a Walgreens. We're not going to be talking about that.
How did we circle back to Walgreens?
It always comes back. I don't know. Because you leave a trail of their massive receipts. You can't get lost that way. So yeah, Portland Book Fair. So I had one panel. It was a YA panel about magic in like YA literature. Basically, it was like.
So you were a guest.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was a guest. Yes. My panel and a big chunk of where I was at the Portland Book Fair was at the Old Church in Southwest Portland. It is just called the Old Church. Many Portlanders have seen many a Christmas concert in the Old Church. I used to walk by it when I had to go to when I lived in Goose Hollow. I always walked by it and thought it was cool. I also remember that's where I filmed an episode of Grimm and got jumped by a Christmas goblin.
I remember when you did that.
Yep. I was like, wait a minute. I have been attacked by a Christmas goblin in this room. It's cool. Yeah, so my panel was pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Go ahead, please.
Oh.
No.
So yeah, what's going on? So yeah, my panel was about YA books, about magic and YA books. So I got to talk a little bit about Season of the Bruja, what inspires it, the book, what people can expect. the panel moderator her name is Heidi. She asked some kind of like fun questions and stuff. Like, one of them was like, if you didn't care about any kind of like comeback on you, what is something you would hex people over? And mine was not using turn signals.
Hmm.
And my hex would be, may your socks never ever be completely dry. Because I'm the worst.
No, you know what's the
Oh.
worst?
Hmm.
Is if the shower curtain liner touches you.
Oh, I hate that so much. Because it just feels unclean.
It is unclean.
It's
Wash your
unclean.
shower curtain liners, people.
I just have that big door now, which you still should wash also.
Yes.
Yes.
Not
But-
only do
oh,
I
yeah,
wash
no, I-
liners, but I replace them.
Oh, it's
routinely.
even worse when like sorry. It's even worse when a person has that shower liner that's like quasi cloth. You know?
Well, the cloth ones are better for being washed.
Yeah, but they just feel I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting weirded out talking about it. We gotta quit talking about this. It's freaking me out. Bean.
Well,
I-
you're disinvited from showering at my house.
Wait, so
Were we planning a shower party?
I'm just being weird.
that appears to be where this is going.
Let me text Jen like, Bean said I can't go shower anymore. She said I mocked her curtains. Moving on.
All right then.
What were you going to say, Cable?
I don't remember. We can move on.
What I did tell Bean this, I think either Sunday morning or Saturday evening, that I have adopted one of her mannerisms, which first came to life when I was on the panel. We were talking about the monitor asked us, what is something our editor would say we use too much of in writing? And I said, well, I use the word amazing a lot. And that I am really in love with ellipses. But that my editor then said, don't use ellipses, use the M dash. And that's when I was given the story. And that's when I leaned in and said, go on. And I do love the M dash. It's wonderful. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
I love the M dash, but in a rapid fire situation, it's a little clunky. So
Sure.
I always just use ellipses. If you're on a regular keyboard, it's not hard. But by that point, you're already really in the habit of using ellipses.
I've got a shortcut for the M dash now. It's just, for me, it's just a quick left middle finger of F10 and M dash.
Fancy.
Yeah. I still can't program my keyboard to have the A with the accent over it, so I still have to copy and paste that from goddamn insert image from Word.
That's weird.
Because I'll look it up and it's like, yeah, hold down Windows icon and Control Shift apostrophe, then take your finger off, press 1 and A, and I'm like, okay, sure, that's fine.
Just press Windows Command and period, and that brings up the menu for it.
Oh, well, I'll just probably create another shortcut key. That'll just make
Next time
things
we're in
easier.
person, I'll show you.
There you go. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bex asked that I have a favorite moment with readers at the book fest. I mean, we got some really good questions from people. That was pretty cool. But right afterwards, we were signing copies because Powell's had a handful of everyone's book, their physical copies for sale. So there are Season of the Bruja floating out there with certain people that bought it then. So, which is pretty cool. So I got a lot of people who came up and were like, your book sounds really, a lot of people that were like really interested in what the book was about, especially dealing with cultural stuff and, you know, witch myths that really aren't ever talked about, which is anything that's not European, basically, you know, or isn't by like, you know, Buckland's book of green magic, which I tried really hard not to make fun of when I was on the panel because one of the people was clearly a old school Buckland person, which whatever, you know, we all discover it at a certain time. That's fine. I just made the joke that D&D did exactly what my parents were afraid it would do. So, well done, D&D.
I don't know what Buckland book you are referring to.
I think his name is Raymond Buckland. He was one of the first
Okay.
people to like really write about witch stuff.
So I don't see Green Magic, but I see he did Complete Book of Witchcraft, Buckland's Book of Gypsy Magic,
Yeah, no, he has a bunch of.
Spirit Communications.
Well, I think the green thing goes hand in hand with his like. He's one of the guys I think that kind of like kickstarted the Wicca movement in the 60s.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, that's kind of. Ooh, thump, thump, thump. But yeah, I mean, god damn, he wrote a lot of stuff. Woo.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that dude stayed busy. Yeah, so I mean, everyone eventually runs into a Buckland book. Like, you just can't avoid it. You know, whether you buy it or not, you're gonna find it. Yeah,
I just
here
like
it
the
is.
phrasing of it. The Buckland book.
The Buckland books. Yeah.
Yeah, he owns these concepts, you see. And thus it's the
The
authority.
concept of Buckland.
Yes, he is. He buckles. No, that's Buttles. So yeah, I mean, it was cool.
I'm the
They had a
Buttles.
lot of like, there were a lot of fun little small press folks there.
Mhm.
So I got to check out some small press titles and whatnot, and that was pretty cool. And then, of course, naturally, the only thing I bought was not a book; it was this candle that I showed a little bit more of it online, and it had like a. She has a crow's like a crow skull mold that she can then use that to mold on top of the candle. So it's pretty cool.
Oh right, yeah, I remember you posting.
Yeah, yeah. I'll share a link with her stuff on the show. I forgot. I can barely read it right now because it's in very small print and in cursive. So, whew, yeah. Other than that, ran into some listeners, which you always do, and they always say hi. So that was cool. But yeah, no, that was my Saturday. It was a lot of fun.
That's good.
So far, I do not have that kind of grumpy, burned out comic person of like, oh, I got to do another show. Oh, I got to do another panel. I'm like, I like it. I also feel like it's the least you can do, in ways of giving back to readers or whatnot, is letting them chat out with you and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I still have a lot of fun doing it. I still quite enjoy going and doing these things. So yeah, everyone was masked up, heavily masked event, which is also good.
Good.
There you go. 'Twas my
Very-
Saturday.
Very well.
Mhm.
Does it sound like something that they want to bring you back for?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's something. I mean, they might, especially if I have a new title out this year, or you know what I mean, the next time it rolls around. So I'm not
Mhm.
sure. I'm a pretty easy get. Like, I'm local, so it's not like. Oh my God! The one thing I forgot to talk about. I didn't even realize she was there. So they had an attendee cocktail party that evening. And I saw a woman there, and I was like, she looks really familiar. And I had, like, I went away and grabbed like a beer and let my brain kind of do its thing. And Jen and I were at a table by herself, and she wound up coming to our table, and we chatted a little bit. And finally I stopped and I said, I'm sorry, are you Sylvia Moreno Garcia, like the one who wrote Mexican Goth? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, I love the book. And I nerded out like hardcore. And like did my best to be cool about it. So chatted with her for like 20 minutes. That was cool. Gave her a business card and a copy of Season of the Bruja. It only felt slightly tacky on my end, but I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, reminded me that I want to get her next book, which is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, which looks really cool.
Oh,
I think we talked about
okay.
this not long ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
she cranked it out pretty fast. Makes you wonder if she wrote him kind of in tandem. But yeah, no, other than that, it was a good day. Yeah, I wasn't awkward at all.
Any more than usual?
Any more than usual? Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the ticket. So yeah,
I say
was
it with
your-
love.
yes, I know. And how were your weekends, as it were?
I was just sharing the chat. I've been house sitting since Friday, so I didn't really have a weekend. I had more like the kind of weekend you have when you're a parent,
Okay.
which is just like focusing on other human beings' needs and
Right.
not so much my own.
I get that. You're always
Yeah,
kind of like,
it's just like not a lot to tell. 2 kids, a bedridden grandma, 2 dogs, and just a big old house. Lots of stuff going on. And then there's
Right.
like multiple groups of people traveling and coming and going. And so there's a lot of arrangements that have to happen around that.
right.
That's a lot. That's a lot to manage.
That's a lot to
And
manage.
that
for
doesn't
sure.
sound like a relaxing weekend.
I mean, I was gonna say, it's like I'm not getting enough rest. But if I'm not getting enough rest, it's because I'm dumb and I stay up too late every night. Because there's no one to stop me.
And how late are we staying up?
Depends on the day.
Mhm.
But 2-ish.
Cheesy Pete. I mean, I guess I used to.
It's
do
my
that
natural
somewhat
rhythm.
better.
I was just telling Christian, if it wouldn't impact the rest of my life, like if I could manage everything in a normal way, like the other people do,
like a human.
yeah, like if the hours I keep didn't matter to anybody, I would ideally sleep from 2 to 9:30. 2 a.m.
Even that, yeah. Okay, that doesn't seem that bad. That's 7.5 hours, especially if
Right.
you fall asleep pretty quickly.
I don't. I have to make myself go to bed at 2. 2 is like this like theoretical limit where I'm like, it's late, go to bed. Still don't want to. I'm not sleepy.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that. Woo.
I don't remember much of my weekend. I had a to-do list of things that I'm still working on. So
Very
Which
well.
is, like, it's a bunch of, like, I'm doing eBay stuff, going to the gym. I'm still I need to sit down and review a list of therapists to go see. Had to reschedule a massage appointment. I have to email our property management company.
Do they even
Boring.
reply anymore?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
They reply as if they were the board collective.
Yeah.
Like, we are your management team. What is it that you require of us? It's like, who the fuck is we? We are the management team. Okay.
Great. That rocks. We are management.
Resistance
some
is
prison.
futile. Your rent is due on
Yeah.
the 1st.
Mm-hmm. It is late after 5 business days.
Yes. Yeah, mostly like I'm still I am still adjusting to life on the floor.
Mhm.
For the past couple of years, I've been doing desk bound. Well, for the better part of 2 years, I've been doing desk bound work for Guardian Games, doing a lot of administrative stuff, and
Right.
with the job switches has me on the floor more. So by the time I get to the end of Friday, I'm like, I am physically and emotionally exhausted. I still have brain capacity, but whereas before it was, I used my brain all day and then I would get home and it would dribble out my ears. You could ask me to, it's like, will you please lift that boulder from this side of the town and carry it to the other side of town? Like, yeah, I can do that.
Mm.
It doesn't require thinking. I can pick that up and carry it. Done.
Yeah. Mm. Right.
But so it is what it is.
Yeah, that works. But yeah, But I get that. Yeah, the whole drained out thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still hitting the wall at like weird, like times of day where my body's just like, you're done. You're gonna sit on the couch for a couple hours. Like, all right.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm glad that you're listening to your body when it tells you that.
Yeah, it's annoying because I've actually there was a person we haven't seen in a few years now came to visit on Portland, and they were all still hanging out. And it was like 10 o'clock. I was like, I'm out. I could feel my body saying, go to sleep. So I went to sleep. So I know it's probably for the best.
I know it bums you out, but I'm going to speak for everyone who is friends with you. We very much appreciate it. And now we just appreciate whatever time that you can spend with us, because we know the rest of the time you are doing what you need to do so that we have you long term.
That's what I'm working on for sure.
Yeah. So we'll take whatever Aaron we can get. It's great.
Real quick, not to like ruin this, very, very loving friend moment, but I absolutely love and appreciate the concept of listen to your body, but I absolutely loathe the phrase listen to your body. It bothers me like the way some people are bothered by the word moist.
I knew you were going to use that as an example.
Yeah, that one I knew.
Know why, but I knew you were going to use that.
Moist has a time and a place, Leave moist alone, people.
And
leave moist alone.
And there are people that have a visceral reaction to the word moist. There are people listening right now going, "Oh,
yep." Quit saying that, Cable.
And I'm sorry.
Saying moist.
You're absolutely allowed to feel that way. I know that people have different reasons for feeling that way. And that's how I feel about listen to your body. It's just oogie.
Listen to your body, Bean.
It feels gross.
It is kind of new age.
Phrase.
We have to learn to listen to our body, boys and girls.
I think it's because that's where that comes from. Like we get that from self-appointed health gurus that are taking shortcuts and coming up with catchphrases and ultimately just want your money. It comes back down to capitalism is evil.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
The wellness industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wellness should not be an industry.
It
should be an infrastructure.
Wellness industry hasn't been around that long. Yeah. Kind of like most insidious capitalist things just kind of creeped in there, and now everyone's doing and talking about it.
I mean, look, in the beginning, it was just so that Kellogg could convince people to not masturbate.
So we have, Herschel Kellogg to blame for the wellness industry?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
The name of the movie, wasn't it?
The Road to Wellness. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins played Kellogg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting when I watched that movie, and then I watched it and I'm like,
fucking weird.
Wait, what is this telling me? Oh, no. No. I was in my 20s and I was too young to understand what that movie was about.
When did that come out?
The 90s.
I feel like it's a late 90s movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so remember whenever you have Frosted Flakes, you're having the thing that Kellogg hated. That was his brother came up with that one.
So that's a way to stick it to him. Really, any sugar.
Very much so, because his brother was like, "We're not making any money," and Kellogg Prime was like, "That's not why we do this." Kellogg Prime. And then also know that whenever you have a graham cracker, it was said make sure that you didn't jerk off, so you can retain all your precious bodily fluids.
I also I learned about that one recently. I didn't realize that there were multiple products on the market to keep you from touching yourself.
Yes.
And I just
many of them
we really always
related.
were a stupid ass puritanical country.
Yes.
I mean, that's why
that's
that's the freedom that the Pilgrims wanted. They looked at the Church of England and were like, "You guys are way too progressive."
I believe the response to that, ding, 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 we have a winner.
Yeah, and that's why like England said, you need to leave because you guys are like no fun. You ruin everything. Because remember, like Christmas used to be illegal in America.
Illegal?
Yeah, because it was the Saturnalia celebration.
Right. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, no, it was illegal. Yeah. Well, during the era of like the witch.
Right.
You know, like that's them. Those are the people that wanted their religious freedom. Is those dudes.
Right. The freedom to be religious extremists.
Yes.
What did they celebrate in the winter?
They didn't.
You just go the whole fucking winter without any joy or feasts?
They don't.
They went an entire fucking life without any joy or feast.
Yeah, joy was bad.
Who wants that? Why do people want this?
We were brought in this world to suffer. Like that's the outlook.
Yes, because all of the good stuff happens after you die and you go to heaven.
Oh my fucking god. I hate it. I
mean, it wasn't like illegal how we know it, but it was definitely frowned upon.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna get back that way.
Yeah.
Hisham in the chat's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'd be lost without my $59.99 meditation mat.
I would assume that's because at $59.99 it comes with a compass.
So he never loses his
joke. Okay.
No, now you have to explain it.
I'd be lost without my.
Brucci.
Thanks, I hate it.
What?
I only got dad jokes. No. I don't know what you want from me.
Pilgrims were a joyless people.
And genocide.
And I think, Kellogg was like, is he a religious scientist? Or was he no, that's right. He was a Seventh-day Adventist. They also do not like having fun. I had a friend all through school and up into high school whose parents were such devout Seventh-day Adventists that they didn't watch a Saturday morning cartoon until they got to college because they go to church on Saturdays.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I do think they started the first big vegetarian movement in the United States, though. Because I feel like as a church, they put out a book called like Return to Eden or something. I only remember because my mom went through a phase where she was like, not a Seventh-day Adventist, but she's like, they have a lot of good ideas. He's also the guy I think that loved to give people yogurt enemas. Including himself.
Okay, yes, Kellogg was an advocate for vegetarianism in the 40s.
Oh, damn, he circumcised himself at 37.
No! Why?
Well, it's
I think we've made a case for why he would have done such a thing.
Woo, not as bad as what he did to women and make sure they didn't masturbate, or what he suggested is to have carbolic acid applied to their clitoris.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, that's the one thing you weren't supposed to do.
So
you know what? That's a clip burning. You keep talking that.
Like the people that he shared most in common with are religious extremist fundamentalists who believe in physical punishment for natural human activities.
Yeah. Oh, he did also find
fun.
Yeah, he was big into eugenics. Yeah, no, he's a good time guy. The two things I remember most about that movie, though, were The Road to Wellness, was the yogurt enemas is my tuba Kid Rock. Nice. Oh yeah, Henry Ford was just a straight up Nazi. Brad. I remember Road to Wellness was the first. It was because I used to see this like in old black and white things. That like canvas like fire hose looking thing you strap around yourself, then and it shakes you on the machines.
Oh yeah.
Like I think he helped create those. I also remember it was a big deal because like I think it was the first time the model Elle Macpherson did a nude scene. Like it was nothing fancy. She was like in the river and like coming out of the river before putting a robe on. But that was like a big deal.
In Road to Wellness?
I think so.
I remember very.
It's been a
little of
long
this movie.
time. All I remember is that Road to Wellville, not
Oh,
wait. Yeah, the Road to Wellville.
yep,
Isn't it?
you're right.
Yeah. Fucking Dana
Wellness,
Carvey was in it. I
Wellville.
forgot. Whatever.
Matthew Broderick. Oh, Bridget Fonda.
Oh yeah,
I
it
did
was a
remember
who's
the John
who of
Cusack.
mid-90s darlings.
Yep. Dana Carvey.
Mhm. Cole Meany,
Oh,
John
yeah.
Cusack. Oh yeah, it's got a hell
John
of a cast.
Neville. Laura Flynn Boyle. Cameron Manheim.
She was everywhere in the mid-90s. Laura Finn Boyle.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I really remember about it. Oh wait, Hisham's right. Sirens was the Ellen
I
McPherson
was
one.
just about to point that out, but I got distracted by the fact that I Googled Elle Macpherson nude scene and there
You
was
got it
porn.
shown.
And I'm like, I don't know why I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not sure.
Hey,
why
is that
you
your
are
boss's computer?
I mean, in that she owns it.
You say that like
I'm the one who uses
her
it.
boss has also not had to make a lot of questionable Google searches in order
That's
to
true.
find something that
Her
is
her
legitimate.
boss is a writer, so she is also on the FBI list for keywords in
Oh,
Google.
fuck yes.
As we all are. Yeah, that's true. I swear we'll get back to something in a minute. The other thing I really remember about the Road to Wellville, spoilers, is how it ends. Because Kellogg did have a massive heart attack and he like died immediately. But in the show, in the movie, Anthony Hopkins as Kellogg is going for his morning constitutional swim in ice cold water. And he's bouncing on the fucking springboard. And he kind of does like, you know, like in those old timey videos, you see the guys do that, like on the Mousetrap game. Yeah, he's literally going like that. And he puts his arms out and he goes, ah! And they freeze frame. And they're like, Dr. Kellogg died on the spot, but his legacy lives on. And then it just credits. It's not the most serious of movie, and I don't even know if it's that good, but in my brain, it was good.
It was
So,
weird.
it
I
was
feel like
very
I
weird.
also saw Sirens and remember nothing of it. It had
Yeah,
Hugh Grant and Sam Neill and Portia de
God.
Rossi.
Wow.
This is weird.
I don't even remember what the hell that one's about. I don't think it matters. Oh, it's about an artist, Norman Lindsay.
That was Sam Neill.
Well, look, they all can't be at the Mountains of Madness. Oh shit, Ben Mendelsohn was in it. I always forget that there's like all these non-American actors that had careers before they did a Star Wars
Or a Marvel.
or a Marvel. Yeah,
Or both.
right. Yeah. So there you go.
Anyway,
I remember they even put Ella McPherson on all of the posters, and on the VHS, it's just her topless from behind. Like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about the time period. That makes sense.
Yeah. Is she the one that also goes like over the top for Halloween?
No. That is the great Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum loses her mind. I mean, it's awesome.
Yep.
And I believe to date has not been problematic in her costumes.
No, this year, did you see this year's costume?
Was she the thing of meat or the earthworm?
She was the earthworm, and her husband was a fisherman.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, Heidi
Yeah.
Klum loves Halloween.
Loves it.
She goes all out. This woman is 52. I love it.
Yeah, she's been
Oh,
Fiona from
so
Shrek. She's been Jessica Rabbit. She's been old. She calls it old saggy tit Heidi.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone as the weird werewolf cat from the opening of Thriller when Michael Jackson turns in, and in the movie when he turns into the werewolf thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it.
She's been a flayed person. She's gone as a Cenobite. Yeah,
Wow.
that worm was
Something else.
worm was so weird.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's got him.
Oh, there we go.
So
There's this
unsettling.
Granny Heidi Klum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Granny.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else goes as all out as she does.
No.
Yeah, Bex mentioned thought it was bacon, and that it was a weird interview. So yeah, there's that. That's things. Things have happened and stuff. How did we get onto the road to Wellville?
You said Wellville. We were talking about your health.
You listen to your body.
wellness.
Because I hate the phrase
Yes.
listen
Yep.
to your body.
And I said
And
that's probably
road to
Kellogg's.
wellness turned into road to sent us down that rabbit hole.
Sorry.
Wellness is also
Thank you for tuning in once again for What Does ADHD Look Like in Real
ADHD,
Time.
the series. Wellness is also something that has inspired. So I'm taking part in the Storyteller Collective Write Your First D&D adventure, like a one-shot.
Mhm.
And the concept of like a wellness retreat is what has inspired what I'm writing. You know, it's a wellness retreat in Ravenloft. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I may be asking. Well, I will be asking for play testers in a couple weeks for sure. So,
Shocked.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of the program.
Yeah,
got to do it.
It's no choice. It's nothing. There's nothing for it.
That's right. There's nothing for it. You've been saying that a lot lately.
What?
There's nothing for it.
I say it all the time.
Oh, well, I'm hearing it more, I guess.
Historically.
Because the only other person I know that ever says that is Samwise Gamgee. There's nothing for it, Mr. Frodo. These are one of my knots.
I think maybe it's not a popular American phrase. It might be more Britishy.
Oh, like rubbish? Like the rubbish bin?
I love rubbish as a term.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
We know you're on this show.
Anyway.
And speaking of Lord of the Rings, I think I had a moment of weakness last night, and I think I ordered a sword.
You
I
think you
I
ordered a sword?
believe I ordered Eomer's sword.
We're speaking in hypotheticals, but I get the feeling that it's not a hypothetical thing.
It's
Or
hypothetically
you were
showing up
drunk
in
and
a
you
few
don't
days.
remember for sure.
No, I was not that. I was just exhausted and forgot pills and all that stuff.
Do you have speaking of buying things, do you have a public wish list?
I don't. I should have one. I had one for my family, but for the longest time, all it had on there was a kegerator and the box set of Werner Herzog movies. One of which I have, the other which is no longer in print, so it's a moot point. You know, I should create a public one.
I think so, and like to peel back the curtain a little bit, we've been talking about this among ourselves, but that has become one of those acceptable ways for people who are fans of an artist or entertainer to kind of show their appreciation and also support them in ways that aren't like, there are people that can't go, I would love to do $5, $10, $20 a month and sponsor you, but I can't do that. I can do this $40 thing this one time.
Sure.
And I think that has become a very modern and very acceptable way to also show your support to people.
Yeah, and I feel like it, and this doesn't make it a bad thing, but I feel like that really started with sex workers.
Of course it did.
To
Just
my
like
knowledge,
everything else.
Just like VHS. Without VHS, we wouldn't, without porn, we wouldn't have home video.
Or Blu-ray.
Or Blu-ray. That's true. Oh, that's
Yep.
right, because Vivid backed Blu-ray, not Sony HD.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Oh, I fucking forgot about that.
Yeah, it's
Or the internet, really.
yeah, and this goes like, this is a nice counter also to everything that we were talking about earlier with Puritans. Like, we have advances because we address that we are realistic about the fact that we are human beings with needs, and archaic made up rules because some fictitious thing in the sky told you to do it is not helpful. But these things are, and they're here, and they're real.
Sex is the
I know
mother
him-
of invention.
And no amount of graham crackers is going to make it go away.
Nope.
That I want that on a T-shirt, Bean.
What was it? I
Sex
missed it.
is the mother of invention. There you go.
Norm
Internet.
also
Nope,
shared a good one. Porn drives technology.
it does.
It does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it still does. The problem is the wrong people have forgotten that.
Which
Like
people are those?
that's why the people that run the banking industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
The banking industry
that's
is
right.
under heavy. I know I'm like, this is wildly off topic of what I was trying to talk about, but the banking industry, it keeps receiving pressure after pressure after pressure to ban anyone who works as a sex worker from being able to have a bank account. The thing that everybody needs, that we are forced to have in a capitalist society in order to do any sort of commerce.
Mm-hmm.
In order to give and receive funds, you have to have a bank account. And banks don't, like, they're being pressured to stop doing that with anyone who does any kind of sex work.
Yeah.
And
I
and
feel
that umbrella is getting bigger and bigger and covers, like, it's starting to cover, I'm an Instagram influencer. Oh, that means you're a sex worker. No bank account for you.
Right. Yeah.
I feel strongly that it is not a coincidence that they're coming after sex workers, a population that is primarily female, and women couldn't even have a bank account up until what, 1960? Credit card of
could
their
hold a
own.
credit card.
Credit card came later, like 1970 something.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me feels like I think it's less about being puritanical than it is about hating and controlling women.
That is one of the tenets of Puritans.
Right.
Fair enough.
They are the root of all evil.
Well, also under the guise of raising them up as the perfect mother virgin, which is the only other way that Puritans viewed women.
Yep.
Doesn't work, friends.
No, not
But
very
yeah,
well.
Figured out for a couple thousand years now, and it's not working. Give it up.
But again, that's why, Amazon wish lists, as much as I dislike Amazon, but
Yeah.
Amazon wish lists or coffee accounts, or, that was the whole thing about OnlyFans in the first place, is that's what OnlyFans was supposed to do, is be a more direct line than Patreon, where you could just go, I like the content you create, here's a bag of money. I
Mhm.
give you a bag of money, you give me content, we're good.
I saw the most fascinating thing on TikTok the other day. This person who is a small business owner and works on they're not a nonprofit, but they do not work towards profit. They are on I think she just called it like a break even model. And so everyone from the top down gets the same income across the board, based on annual revenue. And if there ever is a profit, that gets divvied up amongst everybody else, as though it were an employee-owned company. It's not, but legally, or because of legal stuff. But in practice, it may as well be. And the whole thing had been shared as an argument against capitalism and why it doesn't work and why people want you to think it works and how it got so embedded into our society. But that's amazing. I really enjoyed that concept.
I think I have that video bookmarked on Instagram.
I'll have to watch it. I don't.
I do.
Did you send
because
it?
she talked.
I don't think
know
I
that
shared it to anyone. Or maybe I did.
I saw it about. If it's the same video, you said it was a hairdresser?
No, I don't know what her business is.
Okay. The video I saw was a woman who was a hairdresser. She had 4 other hairdressers. Instead of paying minimum wage to each person or above a certain minimum wage, she averaged out what everyone should make, and they all make the same. She's like, so I make this, they make this, they make this. We all make the same amount. That equals this, which is still in LA, not exactly a living wage, but it gets you by. She's like, if I paid them this much, that means my payroll would be this amount of money and I would walk away with this. How is that fucking legal? She's like, what I would take home would be 55% of the income brought in. If I just paid minimum wage, that ended up being this amount. It's like, that's not okay.
Wow.
So yeah, I think it's the same video. I have it bookmarked so I can share it when I'm having an angry day.
And the reason I thought about that video is because Norm was saying, he's talking about when he becomes president, the federal bank system for sex workers only. And it reminded me of like being a veteran, I have access to USAA, which is a veterans, service members, veterans and families banking company. They do, credits and like auto loans, home loans, the whole nine. And they function as a nonprofit. I get a dividends check every year. The problem with at some point, somebody had to put money in to establish that financial institution. But once you get the ball rolling, there you go. The money comes in, costs are covered, and then the profits go back to everybody.
Yeah, be good. It would also be cool if post offices went back to also having banking.
Agreed.
That's fascinating to read about.
That's going to require a lot more.
It's getting pushed for again, so we'll see what happens.
It requires first that Louis DeJoy be removed.
From
his position.
And
2, they reinstate everything that he tore out of it.
Right. Oh, and also make them not have to fund retirement for the next 50 years right now.
Right. That's really fucking stupid.
Yeah, by the way, everyone, that's why the post office, quote, loses money, because the GOP, I think back in like 2004, hoisted this on them and it passed. The U.S. Postal Service, which is a public service, and it's not government. It is a government service that is not funded in any way by taxpayers. It's just not. The Congress made them pre-fund all retirement for the next 50 years for anyone who ever works there. So they've already paid for all that. That's why they never have money.
they could have more money, but
Yes.
we give it all to the military instead. I remember
There's
seeing.
also
But-
that.
I remember seeing.
But
an
they didn't need
argument-
it. Here's the thing: they didn't need it before. They were forced to fund 50 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
I don't
They
understand
were
that at all.
deliberately, they were deliberately sabotaged so that they could show, see, this is a failing system. That's why we need to privatize it. Let's put it in the hands of FedEx and UPS. It's like, how about not? They're logistic companies that cannot handle their own logistics.
Yeah, no. 90% of all UPS, FedEx, and DHL, if they're not in dense urban areas, the post office does the final leg of the drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For almost all of it.
And they charge more, so somehow it costs more. I will fucking take USPS over any other shipping service
Oh,
any
me too.
day of the week, unless I'm like,
Yeah.
unless I have to send it to a different country, and even then, you
Even
do
then.
usually get a better rate with
Mhm.
USPS. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
I don't understand how people can always hate on the postal service so much. I'm like, maybe it's you. Maybe you're
it's
doing
been
something
taught-
wrong because
We've been
I've
Been
taught
to.
and conditioned. That's why, like, it has been a deliberate, like, campaign to smear anything perceived like with any kind of like strong government ties. But that also is insidious in that it leads to, like, I remember myself in like the mid 90s, like laughing at like every like dehumanizing Hillary Clinton joke. Because if it's just the only thing you hear forever and you get convinced that it's the truth, your brain just becomes rewired that way.
Mhm.
You know, and I saw all those same arguments resurface when she ran for president.
Mhm.
I even saw from friends like, I just can't trust her. I don't like her. I'm like, why? And they would bring up shit that like they remember as a kid Rush Limbaugh saying. I'm like, yeah, none of that was true. Like, we were all conditioned to hate her because she was like the first lady where you got an idea where like the president ran almost everything past her of like, what do you think?
well, and because she was,
And ironically enough, also that she didn't divorce him. That was the one I also thought was really hilarious. The right wing hated her for sticking by his side.
damned if you do, damned if you
Mhm.
don't. If she had left
Yeah.
him, they would have demonized her for that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially if you allege to be Christian.
Right. Also, we need to abolish Citizens United. Our system's never going to get better until that goes away. And I don't see that going away for 20 years, at least. Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Not without a big nudge. Yeah. And this has been Geek in the Government.
That's right. Where we don't pay for shit. Actually, we do. We pay for Restream. We pay for hosting. We pay for equipment. Yeah, actually, we pay for a lot. So
We do.
we should
Which,
have
again-
public Amazon wish lists.
We should have public Amazon wish lists. So much so that, I think there's some folks out there that would be fine being able to pick up a sword for you.
Well, you got to pick up another one because I'm pretty sure I got one. Look, it was a toss-up between Eomer and Boromir's sword. I went for Eomer.
Of the sword replicas from that, I think the one that I really liked was, what was Liv Tyler's elf's name? Who was he?
Arwen.
Arwen. I liked Arwen's sword. It was an elven blade and it was curved in a very strange way that made it feel like, at least when I held it, it felt like it was an extension of your arm.
Yeah, it's got a slight S curve to the whole thing.
Yeah, I kind of dig that.
Yeah.
Piece of pride.
My sister-in-law Laura has the Arwen sword replica. So every time I hear that now, I think of the sword's name.
The Hadafang?
Hadafang. Yeah, everything has a fucking name in Tolkien. I always liked Legolas's fighting knives. I thought those were cool.
Mm-hmm.
you know, all the elven stuff has that slight bend to it.
I'm curious then, what would, if we were to put them together, like, would we, well, not what would be on a show one, like, because I'm sure that we could come up with very practical ones that could be on a show. It's like, oh, we all need new headphones, or we need a new mic, or we need new cables, things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Things that aren't like we've already used sponsor money to pick up new things. These are just extras or replacements. What would you put on a personal wish list?
Oh man, I honestly don't know. I think part because I go through so much of what I like now seems like it's more practical, like, you know, more candle making equipment. Like I'd love something so I can make pillar candles. I still don't have the equipment to make those. Those look cool. Yeah. Like random brewing things that would come in handy. Like I would like a beer gun. It's not as wacky as it sounds. It's called the beer gun. It allows you to fill bottles from a tap without it overflowing or creating any kind of like backflow or anything.
That's less exciting than I was hoping for.
Yeah, no, it's not as exciting as you think. Or like a glycol chiller. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a chiller that runs glycol through it. So like when it's 98 degrees out, I can ferment a lager at like 45 degrees. But they're like $300. And every few years you have to replace it with that horribly toxic glycol fluid. I'm assuming it's toxic.
Okay.
Yeah. Swords, yes. Not katanas. I feel like yes, there are sword people, but then I think you get this weird division. You've got people that like historical replica swords. I feel like you have people that like movie replicas, and even with that, that's a breakup. There's Lord of the Rings, you know, there's Middle Earth, and then there's everything that's not Middle Earth, like Blade's sword or Conan's sword. Subset of that are the anime sword people. And then just katana dudes.
Yeah,
they usually are. What's the term when you fetishize Japanese culture?
Weeaboo.
Because that's the same thing. They're the same ones that are like their second date is like, yeah, I'm gonna take her to the Japanese tea or somewhere any place in like the Japanese gardens. You know.
I don't know. I feel like those could be classier. I get squeamish.
Brad, I think. Yeah, good.
Sorry.
Otaku just means fan.
Yeah.
That's a normal amount of fandom.
Weeaboo is an obsessed Japanophile.
Where does the phrase come from? Like, what does it mean? Is it like a portmanteau of something?
I don't think so. I don't know what the origin of weeaboo is. I know that weeaboos don't like being called weeaboos.
Well, then maybe stop it. Yeah, I get a little bit freaked out about katanas weirdly because when I was like 20, 21, I was still in the army. Friends threw a Halloween party. And at some point in the night, one of the kids who lives in this apartment busts out his katana to show it off. And
I mean, that's going to happen.
He's showing it off, and then another guy puts his forearm out like this. And then the katana guy puts the katana on his arm like this. And they lock eyes with each other. And then he slowly pulls it down. And he cut his arm just wide open, almost down to the bone. And I had to be the one to drive them to the fucking hospital. And that's
why did they lock eyes? I think
it was like a game of
Was it like
chicken.
A sex thing?
I don't know. I don't really know like what went through their minds.
I'm going to cut you. No, you're not.
I think the guy who got cut didn't think the other guy was going to do it. And the katana guy maybe he just didn't understand that it's a real fucking sword. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you those guys' names anymore. But yeah,
Yeah.
that happened. And I had gone to that party with one of my friends, and I was the DD between the two of us. So
What a fun Halloween for you.
I know. It's before car services, you know. So yeah, I was the only sober person who could take these kids to the hospital. Worst Halloween ever.
I have some real problems with this. Either they sharpened the fuck out of replica sword.
Yeah, those are hard to get
which
an edge on
means-
them too.
Yes, they are, because they're made of shitty material.
Yeah, they're made to hang.
Or that was an actual katana, which means there's some family out there that's missing their family fucking sword, and that bothers me deeply.
I mean, there is a very rare third option, and that somehow, if he was in the army and he didn't have any other place to spend money, you can commission a legit katana that they will make for you.
Sure,
You're dropping
okay.
like $5,000.
Yeah,
you know,
if you're buying a
but-
modern one, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah. Do they not make them anymore ever? That's what I assumed.
They do. They're as rare as like if you were to buy a real working, because there's like the replica swords for just hanging up and maybe cosplay with, and then there are like stage combat ready swords. They're always blunt, but they're made to kind of womp on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean
And
to interrupt.
then you can commission. You could go to a real good blade, blacksmith, and be like, I want a two-handed whatever, hand and a half
Right.
sword. You're going to pay out the nose for it. I mean, even back in the day, the only people who used swords were rich nobles. Swords were
Yep.
fucking expensive. Soldiers had pikes
and spears.
and spears, pikes, maybe a hammer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit of metal on a long piece of wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you remember when we went to Astoria a couple of years ago, and we went to the Maritime Museum there,
Oh
and there was
yeah.
that section about World War II, where
Where they're returning the flags, right? The family flags.
returning the flags, but that also gets into swords because you're sent with your sword too. Like family swords were taken during World War II from Japanese soldiers.
Mm.
Right.
Like,
And they are family heirlooms essentially.
yes, like
Mm-hmm.
one of our family swords was stolen. Like our families, we have the Hashitani name is not a samurai name. Wakasukis are not samurai. We're farmers. Somewhere along it comes from my grandfather's side of the family. But we had a katana and a wakizashi that were presented because someone at some point signed up and was basically a working man samurai.
Sure.
The wakizashi was stolen sometime when my dad was a teenager. He's pretty sure by someone that he brought over to the house, and he was showing them the swords, and then one of them got stolen.
Yeah.
Wow.
At present, the katana is in Montana with my aunt. But yeah, like that shit happens. And those are the swords. Like this is a thing that just sits in a scabbard, and they're really fucking sharp. So
Yes, they are.
they are designed to
Yeah.
just drag across the skin and cut it open.
Like at Halloween parties.
Uh-huh. Ugh.
What would you folks put on your wish list? Your listener supported wish list.
Cable, are you prepared for this?
I think the easy answer is Lego,
Yeah.
but honestly, I don't know. I tend to put together a wish list that like has things that I would buy myself but only after like, well, I paid this bill, I paid that bill, I've taken care of this much groceries for the month, I've done this. I'll go ahead and buy that. And like,
Sure.
I think there's like a $60 Trek book that's on my wish list. I don't even know that my wish list is public. Boring adult things like compression socks, so that I
I'm
can
gonna go
stand all
look at
day
my
on
wish.
concrete.
I'm gonna go look at my wish list. I know it's so dated because it used to be I would just send that to my mom. Like, here, she's like, Mijo, what do you want? I'm like, here, just here.
Yeah, random Trek things, random. Yeah, Lego is hard because I always tell people, like with Lego, just buy me whatever, and it doesn't matter if it's like, well, we don't want you to have the same thing. It's like I will just build a bigger version of the one thing. I don't. That's how Lego works.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
If I get 3 Quinjets, I make a giant Quinjet, or I make a fleet of Quinjets. It doesn't matter. So, and Lego is always something. It's like I'm always going to buy myself some Lego. So,
right.
that feels less like an own. I don't want to put that onus on other people, but things that would bring me joy that I would not feel uncomfortable if complete strangers or partial strangers, people I've not met in real life, went, here, I bought a thing for you. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now. It currently has, I don't even need that anymore. Okay, it currently has 2 things. One is a Mushrooming with Confidence book. That is the book recommended by the Black Forager on her TikTok page. So she's like, get this book in a really aggressive way because that's how she always talks.
Alexis, what's her last name? With the big glasses?
Yeah, I mean, her handle is the Black Forager, so I don't feel bad saying that.
No, I just
and then I have a sous vide cooker on my list. Gimli's axe. I should put Gimli's axe on my list. I almost did that. But like really dumb stuff. Not dumb.
It's not dumb.
It's not dumb. You're right.
Yeah, currently my wish list is a combination of both things I want to buy later and things that would actually fit on a wish list. Like there's a Star Trek costumes 5 decades of fashion on the Final Frontier. It's a $60 book. It's a gorgeous coffee table book. Yeah. Not Quite White, Losing and Finding Race in America. A bunch of Trek badges. But then I have things that like, I'm already planning on buying this, like backpack cat carriers.
I have one of those on my list too.
Yeah, and compression socks.
Wow. Cable, did you get any of those targeted ads for like horror themed compression socks?
No, I have not.
Rude.
I did.
I get target. What targeted ads do I get? I get targeted ads for like horror dress clothes, which is how I ended up on Creepy's radar, or how Creepy ended up on my radar.
Almost all of mine are usually some kind of food or drink, witch shit, and RPG stuff. That's 90% of what and they get me a lot. So
yeah, I get a lot of game stuff, surprisingly.
Yeah.
It's almost like I work at a game store.
Yeah. Yeah, I get weird shit.
So I'm the retail
as we're talking, I'm
I
adding stuff.
2 lists.
Ooh.
Yes, I have one that's dedicated for pottery stuff, and that one it's not public, but big people can access it if I give them the link.
Right.
And then the other one is like Cable, like it is a combination of things that I'll probably buy at some point. They're not like fancy or expensive, but they're also not necessary.
Yeah.
And other stuff that is like real wish list items like the Dyson Airwrap kit, or like this really nice food processor that I've been wanting for a long time, but it's kind of spendy.
Ooh, what is it?
But it's I believe it's the Cuisinart 8-cup. Is that right?
Oh, okay.
It's the big boy.
That's what I have. It is a big boy.
Yeah, it's nice too. And expensive. But the rest of the stuff is really just like anything. Books, movies, a couple of manga and comic book things, plant stuff, witch stuff, skincare, random stuff that I'm like, oh, that would be interesting to try. Bullet journaling supplies,
Yeah.
home decor, plant care stuff. There's a bunch of plant stuff on mine where I'm like, that would be really nice to have. Can I live without it? Yes, but
I have a super like bougie coffee maker. Like you light a little tea light under it, and then it does like the reverse whatever.
I have an ember mug on mine. That's another like kind of spendy one.
What's an ember mug?
It is a I can show you the one I have here at work. It's this electric powered mug, and it's got this this is how it charges on the bottom. It keeps it stays hot. So it's almost like like those candle warmer things, kind of like that, but for your coffee or tea mug.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it syncs up to your phones. You can be like, this is a cup of coffee. This is the temperature I like for my coffee. And that's really great for someone like me who gets like hyper focused, and like 3 hours later, I still have 3/4 of a mug full of coffee.
Right.
I still want it, but it's not very good, and it's.
But now it's that weird kind of like lukewarm
room temperature coffee with milk. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink it.
I go through
it.
like weird things that I see. I'm like, I wouldn't mind having one like this. It's an outdoor cast iron stove or fireplace. What?
Ooh.
Made for tents. Like my days of tent camping are over. Aside from the random Renaissance fair or pirate shit, why do I need that? Because it looks cool.
For when we hit the survival days.
Yeah, like I see like
completely collapses.
Yeah, I get ads for like these really fancy tents. I'm like, oh, that looks fun. I'd spend a long weekend in that.
Well, now I absolutely have to look at Instagram and see what targeted ads I get right now.
Oh, and then stuff when I mention it, people are like, really? You would want that? And this will make it seem like I'm also someone that's obsessed with like Japanese culture, but like very specific soy sauces and fish sauces.
Ooh.
But it's because I know they're the best.
Yes, but that does not make you a weeaboo. That does not make you an otaku. Like that.
That's true. It just makes me a food nerd.
You're looking at it because you have tried other things and that is your preferred. Versus, I only want this because it's Japanese.
Oh,
right.
No.
Like just deciding that something is intrinsically better because it's Japanese, even if you have no firsthand knowledge or experience of it.
Right, because that usually doesn't extend to Japanese people. It only extends to what is made in Japan. But not people, because fuck people.
Ew.
Sorry, I've had a few conversations over the past few days about Orientalism in gaming and popular media.
Wow.
Fucking cyberpunk.
See, I just went down the fucking rabbit hole of it's all that one brand, Haku Japanese. Like Cable, I think I gave you one of the barrel-aged fish sauces, like the whiskey barrel-aged. Yeah, man.
Merrick still thanks you very much for that.
Oh, man, of course. Cherry blossom soy sauce. I don't even know what that would taste like, but it sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, barrel-aged shoyu. Oh, my God. I got to quit looking at all this shit. And a little goes a long way, so a bottle does last you all year.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Yeah. Anyway, hey. We got about 10
went on
minutes
a
left.
lot. Yeah, we went on a lot of tangents there, but overall, that was support artists and entertainers that you like in whatever way you can.
Yeah.
Was this our way of saying that we're going to share our Amazon wish list with the listeners?
I
Oh,
suppose
I mean,
so.
We
I just
can.
cleaned mine up. It currently has Star Trek badges and a couple books. I've taken off all the things that are actually. I forgot that I created another wish list that is an actual shopping list for me,
Mm,
and that one's private. My wish list is public, so I'll put that out there.
I'll do something. Ooh.
All right. Well, now everyone's
know.
just shopping online.
I know now. I'm just looking at stuff like, I'm like, let me see. Now I'm gonna look it up, see if it's even available.
I'm gonna go backwards into horror for a second.
Okay.
Only to say that a few things. Alex Spieth, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago, who was in town for the Portland Film Fest showing Stag, who's still getting awards and accolades for that, just broke down her script for her sophomore movie.
Oh, nice.
I believe the title of it is Immaculate, so that's exciting.
Oh, she's going to stick with those one-word titles, huh?
Yeah. XKI, their movie or her movie, Black Lake, I think it is.
Yes.
That has a director's cut and is being released, so that's going great for them.
Nice.
And then Witch Hunt Theater's the dinner party that's coming up. There are only 3 out of 6 nights left available.
Wow, that's doing very well.
They sold out one night before tickets went off of early bird, cheap early bird tickets to regular tickets. So like the 19th already sold out like before it bumped up on November 1st.
Dang.
So, yep. It's awesome that we have interacted with all of these people and that they are all doing well. I know that the show and us as individuals have been really proactive and really supportive of women working in horror.
Right.
But yeah, it's great to see them doing well. So
that's
I
that
actually
Geek in
don't
the City
know if
bump.
Alex is. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Alex's next movie is actually horror, but
It's
who
the
knows?
one about
Sure.
the GameStop employee, right? I thought it was kind of horror. I'm trying to
I
remember.
don't know. We'll find out.
Huh. I don't know. Well, we may have to get to
Yeah,
She-Hulk
there's-
another time.
Seems like.
We may have to. I think that might be
Yeah.
fine.
That's fine.
Go watch She-Hulk. Black Panther Wakanda comes out this Saturday or Friday, so
I know. I might just like run and maybe just go on a matinee on Friday or something. We shall see.
Ooh, bad idea.
Oh, jeez.
Don't you work on Friday?
Veterans Day,
Oh, is it?
which is a paid holiday at milk-fed criminal masterminds. But also,
Isn't it also-
it's the next.
Isn't it also Armistice Day? World War I Armistice Day? Wasn't
Yeah,
that
they
originally how it started?
rebranded
That's what I thought. I mean, whatever. It's just
like 50 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Sorry, I got World War I on the brain because a couple days ago I decided to watch the new version of All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix. First off, it's really good. Watch it on the strong day because it's still fucking All Quiet on the Western Front. So, not the most uplifting movie.
Noted.
I did it back to back. I watched that, and then I popped in my Blu-ray Criterion of oh my god, I just went blank. It's one of Kubrick's earliest movies. Anyway, and it's got Kirk. No, it's got Kirk Douglas. It's also a World War I movie about 3 Frenchmen who refuse to go fight, so they're put up on the firing squad. Passive Glory. Still one of my favorite Kubrick films ever. Also, not super uplifting.
A Kubrick film? What?
Yeah. There aren't any like happy World War I movies. Like, I know we like glorify World War II and you can make wacky adventures during World War II. You can't do that in World War I. They're like, that was an ugly war, and there really wasn't like good guys and bad guys. It was just like, you know, gang colors throwing up fight. Oh, you picked on so and so, so now I gotta fucking declare war on you. And also, it was like machine guns versus horses. Yeah.
And what did those horses even do to you?
Nothing. I don't know why I said it that way. Nothing. Stupid horses.
Anyway.
Very well. Well, let's wrap it up. Don't have any idea what we're going to do next week. Maybe we'll show off stuff that our listeners got for us.
Ooh.
Or didn't. It's fine. There's no pressure.
And we'll guilt them for that.
Aaron, there's this hint on the floor. Did you mean to drop that?
The one in the chat? It just fell.
Oops.
You could see all the like Aaron's weird, like, you know, stuff, things he's into.
I'm gonna click it.
It's all probably too expensive too, honestly. That's the other thing. All my shit's expensive. What? No. What? Whoa. I can bring up nice.
What?
I can bring up comments. Pow, Norm from Texas. That's not wrong. Just means you got taste. Pure.
That's magical. Man, Restream. They've really leveled up from the last time we used it.
Yeah, they have. Well, I'm gonna put in. Bam. Bam. All right, I gotta stop.
What the?
Found a new toy.
Okay.
With that, I'm Aaron Duran.
I'm Beanarita.
I'm still Cable Hashitani.
And we will speak to you all next week.